the channel, and today we're going to be making this skirt here. It is not as difficult as it looks. It's just split into 3 sections, which is super easy, and on the back it is fastened by a button, which means you can adjust the measurement and the length however you would like. Okay, so this skirt is going to be split into 3 main sections. We have here, this is the waistband, this bit here, and this is going to fold over to make sure that it fits you perfectly. And then we have just our double crochet row, and then we have this row here, which are like these clusters of petals and like a triangular shape. And so then we'll do this main row waistband, then we'll add on this row, and then you go to the triangular row, then you go back to this row and here. You can do any kind of variation in length for any of these rows except from this one, because we want these 2 lengths to be equal. So let's begin. So I am using cotton yarn and 8x4. So it depends on what yarn you're doing as to how much you train, but if you're using this yarn or anything that's thin or cotton, you should chain the length all the way around your waist and then half. I will show you what I mean. So you just start by making a simple chain. I'm going to make a shorter chain to show you, but I'm going to show you first what I mean. Okay, so here you can see that it goes round my waist 1 and then a little bit less than a half, and this is where you want to stop your chain. So for this video I'm just going to use a shorter chain, but you will be using the chain that goes all the way around your waist. So what you want to do now at the end of the chain is chain another 2, and then working in to the 3rd one, so not that one, this one here. So you're going to be working now into not this one, but the 3rd one from your chain. You're going to do 3 double crochets into that chain. So 1, and you do that by just yarning over, going through the hole, putting your yarn through 2 loops, and then through the other 2. So you're going to do that 3 times in that chain, like so. Then you're going to skip 1, 2, and do the same on that 3rd one. So you just do another 3 double crochets into there, and you're going to continue this pattern all the way down your chain. So like that, and then you miss 1, 2, and do the same in there. Okay, so now you've done that, it should look like this, like a row of these petally shapes. So when you get to the end of the row, our next line is going to be like these mini mesh stitches. So you're going to just chain 2, flip your work, then you're going to miss this initial one, and you're going to just do a single crochet into that next one, like so. Then you're going to go chain 2 again, miss 1, and do a single crochet in the next one. You're just going to continue that, so you've got these tiny little loops all the way through, So your piece should now be looking like this, and on your 3rd row you're just simply going to go down and do single crochets into all the stitches. So that means you go into the stitch where you did your single crochet, then you're going to single crochet 1 into the loop, and then again into this stitch here. So you go through an actual stitch, through a loop, through a stitch, through a loop, all the way down. So now on the next row you're just going to chain 1, turn your work, and to start this you're going to do 3 single crochets in there, there and there, so in the next 3 ones. So 1, 2, 3, like so. Then you're going to chain 5. You're going to miss out 3, so 1, 2, 3, and you're going to do a single crochet into the 4th one there to secure. Then you're going to do another 2 single crochets so that you have 3 there. Then you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to skip 3 and do another 3 single crochets in there. Then you're going to chain 3 again, skip 3 again, and do another 3 single crochets. Then you're going to start from the beginning here, and you're going to chain 5. Skip 3, and then do 3 single crochets. So in between our 3 single crochets, on the various gaps, we have a chain of 5, then 3, then, so in terms of the gaps, we have a gap of 5, a gap of 3, a gap of 3, and then back to a gap of 5. And you want to repeat this same pattern again, making sure to do 3 single crochets in between each of those gaps. So you just want to finish the row however you can. So I've done 4 instead of 3 just so I get to the end. And now you're going to chain 3. And depending on which hole you're in and where you're at, you can see that I am in this one here in the 3 hole. So I'm going to do a single crochet into that loop there, into the middle stitch of the 3. Then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to do a single crochet into that loop of 3. Then I'm going to chain 3, and into the larger loop of 5, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. And then I'm going to chain 4, and I'm going to do another 3 double crochets into the same loop. Like so. Then I'm going to chain 3 again, and I'm going to do a single crochet into this loop here, to this loop of 3. So just single crochet in there. Then I'm going to chain 2, do a single crochet into this middle one, this middle stitch. I'm going to chain 2 again, and I'm going to do another single crochet into this loop of 3 here. Then I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way across, so chaining 3, doing 3 double crochets into the loop of 5, and chaining 4, and then doing another 3. Like so. So then you want to continue, you just chain 3 into that loop, chain 2 into there, chain 2 into there, chain 3, and repeat that. When you come to the end of this row, you should be around here, and into the last stitch you just want to do a double crochet. So then for the third row, you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, flip your work, and in the big kind of triangular shape, you want to do double crochets all round. So into this stitch here, 1, 2, 3 that we already made, and then into this hole here, into this chain, you want to do another 3. Like so. Then you want to just chain 2 and do that on the way down, so another 3 into this loop. And then 3 into these stitches here. Like so. And then you want to chain 3, and you want to go into this loop here that you made before, that one there, and just do a single crochet. Then you chain 3 again, and you're gonna do a single crochet into the next loop. Then you're going to chain 3 again, and you're going to repeat this pattern all the way to the end. So you now should have something that looks like this. So at the end of the row, you want to chain 3, turn your work, and up and down here, you want to just work single crochets into every double crochet that we previously made. So all the way up here is just single crochet. So all the way up here, and then in this gap here that we made, you just want to do 2 single crochets in there, and then you want to do the same thing all the way down there. Okay, so now that you've come to the end, you want to just chain 1, actually chain 2, and then into this loop here that we made, you want to do 8 double crochets. Okay, and then when you've done that, you want to chain 2 again, and you want to go into this stitch here and repeat what we've just done. So you're going to repeat all the way single crochets up here, 8 into the gap all the way across. Okay, so now it should look like this, and on your next row you're just going to chain 1, flip your work, and then you're going to do single crochets all the way up and down here, just simple single crochets. Okay, and when you've done your single crochets up and down there, you don't need to chain anything, you just need to start doing another set of double crochets onto this, all the way around this curve. So 8 double crochets. And you're just going to continue this pattern of single crochets and then double crochets all the way to the end. Okay, so your waistband should now look like this, and this is the pattern for the first half of it. And now what we're going to do is just do the exact same, literally the exact same on the other side to get the full waistband. So here we are, we've finished, and we need to get down to here to start there. So you're just going to do single crochets all the way down, all the way along here, literally wherever you can fit in your crochet hook, just to make sure that your yarn is moving down that line. So all the way down here, and then you are gonna just repeat the exact same thing into here. So now we're working, and we're just going to work across here and extend it that way. So chain 1, and then you can do into this gap here, you're going to do your 3 double crochets like we did. And then obviously you don't need to count on this one. You just know that you want to do your next set of 3 into that hole there where the last one was. And this is going to give you a really clear row to work on. So then you would just extend that, and you would do all these rows again, making sure that these match up each end to make it really clear. I will show you on my one. So in the end, you should end up with something like this. You can see that these match up, so it's super clear. Okay, but for this tutorial, I'm gonna just treat this as the next half. So you would already have your half down here, and this would be your second half that you've done. So the skirt is gonna extend from here. So at this point, you would have done your waistband, and you need to make sure that this is all flat, so that there's like a flat line that goes across, so that it's easy to do your double crochets. So to do this, you're just gonna chain 2 initially, flip your work. Then where your work dips, you're gonna do actually chain 4. You're gonna do a double crochet, like so. Then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to do another double crochet, and then here, as it's going increasing, getting more near the top, you're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, by the way, all the time, because we're doing this as a mesh. You're going to go skip this one into there, you're going to do a half double crochet, and then when we're near the top, you're just going to chain 2, skip that one, and do a single crochet in there. So you'll see that it starts to even up a little bit, the thing. So then we're going to do chain 2, skip that one, single crochet in there. Chain 1, skip that one, half double crochet in there. Chain 1, skip that one, and then do a double crochet in there. Then chain 1, skip that one, you're going to do a half double crochet in there. So it should all kind of level out a little bit more. Then you're going to chain 2, skip that one, go in there. Chain 2 again, skip 1, and there, single crochet. Then chain 1, skip that one, and a half double crochet. Chain 1, skip that one, and a double crochet, because you basically want to do a double crochet in anywhere where it's the bottom, so you see here, anywhere near there, and then a single crochet anywhere near the top, and when it's rising up or going down, a half double crochet, so that it all levels up. So chain 1, skip that one, because it's rising up, we're just going to do a half double crochet. Then chain 2, skip that one, just a single crochet. Chain 2, skip that one, single crochet. Chain 1, skip that one, and a half double crochet. And then chain 1, skip that one, another half double crochet. And then chain 1, skip there, and a double crochet. So you'll begin to get the hang of it, but you want, I know it's hard, to just level it out as much as possible in this kind of mesh stitch, like so, all the way to the end. Okay, so that was, in my opinion, the hardest part of the skirt. Now that you've done the waistband, you've done the main hard bit. So now what you're going to do for this next row is chain 2, flip your work, and then you're going to do half double crochets all the way down. So into the stitch and then into the gap. Into the stitch, into the gap. And just continue this all the way down into every stitch and gap. Now what you should notice is that because we made the waistband longer than our waist at the beginning, although it shrunk a little bit, it will still be bigger than your hip where you want it to sit. So what you want to do now is grab your waistband, obviously with the extra bit here, and wrap it around your waist and measure out where you want to stop. So for example, this is my waist, I would wrap it around there, and mark there is where I want my skirt to stop. So then when you make sure that you've got the right measurement of your hip and that it's all set, you want to fold it. You should have marked where you want to go, and then you want to have, so let's say this would be excess part here. We will worry about that bit later. So you want to hold that bit down, and then you just want to do a simple slip stitch into there to bring your components together. So now you have that loop of your skirt. Your skirt is going to work from there. Now we want to continue with this layers of double crochets. So you want to do chain 2, and you want to go all the way around with like so. However, you want to note and make a pin or a reference onto the different ends of your skirt. So this is going to be the back of your skirt where your things cross over, and these will be your sides. So then just make note, however you want, the sides of each of your skirt. So if this was your body, this would be the sides of your skirt. Then roughly when you get to where they are, so like here, you're going to do an increase. I'll show you when I get there. So now you can now see that I'm nearly by the clip. So you want to just do, I would recommend do one before and one after, but if you want your skirt to be looser, you can do more, or tighter less. So I would go roughly here, and just, instead of doing 1 double crochet, to do 2 double crochets into that hole. And then continue 1 double crochet until you're just after the pin here. And I would do another increase here. And then I would do this same thing on the other side where the other pin is. So you also want to make sure that this bit here is connected so that it's much neater. So as you're doing your double crochets and you get to this bit where they lap, you just want to insert your hook through both bits of the band to make your double crochet, and you want to do that all the way to the end of the row. It might be quite hard to find the hole, but it's there. So just go through all the way along there. So to finish the row, you just want to do a slip stitch into there to your initial one. Then you chain 2 and you do it again, making sure to do your increases on either side where your pins are. So that is 2 rows already. So I did, in total, I did 5 rows in total. So 5 rows, you can do 6 rows, you can do however many rows here as you would like, making sure to maintain your increase and just keep going like that. So the last technique that you need to do for your skirt is this one that I'm going to show you now. And you want to start by chaining 4. And then you want to do a double crochet into that hole. And then you want to chain 1. Then you want to miss 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then in the 4th one, do a double crochet. And then do 3 more double crochets along. So now you should have a set of 4 double crochets. Then you chain 1, you miss 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th you do a double crochet, and then you chain 4, and then you do another double crochet into that same hole. And you want to repeat this pattern again. So chain 1, miss 3, 1, 2, 3, and then do 4 double crochets. And you want to do this all the way around until you get back to the beginning. This is row 1. Okay, and then when you've come to the end of that row, the second row, you just want to chain 2, do 3 double crochets into this initial hole you made. And then you want to chain 1, and then with your 4 double crochets here, you want to do double crochets into the middle 2. And then you chain 1 again, and then in this big hole here, you want to do 8 double crochets. And then you chain 1 again, and you just repeat that all the way around. So now you've done those 2 rows, you're basically gonna repeat these 2 rows again and again. So I'll show you what you mean. So you chain 2, then you do a double crochet in there, then you're going to chain 1 and you're going to do this same V kind of shape into the middle of these 2 stitches. So like so, so you chain, you do 1 double crochet, chain 4, and then another double crochet in the middle of those 2. Then you're going to chain 1 and you're going to do your 4 double crochets like here in the middle of this. So you're going to count 1, 2, and then you do your 4. And you repeat this, and you repeat these two layers again and again until you get your desired length. And then if you would like to then go back to your if you'd then like to go back to your double crochet, you simply just work through however many there are meant to be. So in this loop you do 4 double crochets and then a double crochet there and a double crochet in the gap, so that you have your desired kind of length. And you can keep on flicking between the 2 like so. You just simply repeat it and you can do however many layers you would like. So here you can see I've done 2 of the triangle shapes, and then at the bottom I've done 4, so I've doubled it, and I've done 3 levels here and I've done 5 here, so you can choose however many layers you would like. And then when you come to the end of your work and you've done all the layers that you would like, you just simply tie it off. So I'm finishing on this layer here, so I'd finish off this layer, and then I'd just do a slip stitch to finish that off, and I'd cut it there. So here I would just cut that off, and then I'm done there. So here you can see that you have the folded over bit, and you want to mark where your button goes, where you want your skirt to sit. So just hold it down, grab your button, make a mark of where you want it to go, and then sew it in there. And then you are all done, and that is your skirt complete.